Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. One for the weekend, hope you're well. I'm off to the pub later, should be a good one. Hope you're having a good weekend as well. Well, I did a video a few days ago at the request of an armed forces veteran that I am in regular contact with. This is the thumbnail for that video. Veterans need better. Now, where I was going with this is the fact that, you know, you serve your country, you do what must be done, you come out, and in a large majority of cases, you are not given the support, you are not given the backup that you really should be after having sacrificed so much for the good of this country and everyone else in it. And it leaves scars. It leaves scars. Now, just to clarify, I have never served. I wanted to join the Air Force when I was 16, got as far as the recruiting office with my old man, and like all teenagers who think they can do everything right now, I was presented with a list of different trades that I would be qualified to go in and do. And because what I wanted to do wasn't on the list, I said, no, I'm not doing that. I walked away. Later in life, I don't regret that decision, although probably 20 years ago, I might have done slightly more. But seeing how the world is now and all the things coming out, it is a bad thing. The reason I care and the reason I comment, and by God, I'm as entitled to comment on this situation as anyone else is, and I will continue to do so, is that I come from a military family. Even though I didn't serve, I have several generations in my own family, including my own father that did. So pardon me for giving a shit. Well, back to what happened. There's a group of veterans who are planning to go to Buckingham Palace on Armed Forces Day and hand back their berets and their medals in protest and disgust at the way they've been treated by the Child Maintenance Service. Because, you know, think about it, with the rigours of service and the rigours of army life, it can put a strain on families and it can cause families to fracture. And in a large percentage of cases, not all cases, but quite a large percentage, it's actually the father that gets the wrong end of the deal, so to speak, and ends up with all the problems. So you can imagine coming back from deployment or the things you've seen, and then the added pressure on top of that. It really is quite bad. Now, I want to play to you a clip. It's about 3 minutes long, and it's from a program which was a Armed Forces special that was done, and it's got an ex-para on there describing some of his experiences with the Child Maintenance Service. And I want to show it to you just so you can get an idea of what's going on. When I've shown you that, there's another story I want to share with you also.
Obviously, is not on accuracy, it's on speed. So put 200 liability orders to the courts all at the same time with no opportunity at all to look at individual cases. Well, I'm now joined by two people, Lee Windsor and Craig Pullman, who've had actual experience of that process. Craig, tell us about your story.
Right, my story begins back in 1996, well, actually 1995, when I first split up with my ex-wife. I went straight to the regiment admin office, set up a private payment, personal, you know, to pay for the children. And then 1996, just before my deployment to Bosnia, started getting letters from the CSA, and they were demanding money. And I was like, well, why you coming after me? I'm paying for my children. Anyway, it got so bad. In the end, I left after 16 years service because I just couldn't cope with their harassment. Come 2009, I got a liability order for £12,000.
Based on what?
Based on nothing. The dates that were on the liability orders were actually dates from when I was on a nil assessment, because I'd been off out of work because of a back injury. So when I challenged it, they became really militant and enforced a detachment of earnings order at 40% of my salary and they knew that I couldn't afford that.
Did they re-examine the
No.
assessments they'd made?
No. I complained about it. They just because I challenged them. It's like, how dare you challenge us? And then slapped on the desk.
Can you not ask for a mandatory reassessment?
Mandatory consideration at the time. I didn't know nothing about all of that sort of stuff.
And they didn't tell you that there
No.
was a means of
No.
questioning it?
I just kept complaining via email, and eventually my case ended up with with ICE, and then ICE took the side of the CSA, and then they got to the ombudsman, and they were going to take the side of the ICE report. But then when I realised that they'd missed my ward cement pension out, the ombudsman asked the CSA, and then that was it. They admitted that they'd used incorrect enforcement, and the accuracy of the liability orders was totally inaccurate, and the information on there was misleading as well.
So they've admitted they've made a mistake. So was that the end of the story?
No, I was actually, when they admitted all to the issues, I'd already been made homeless. I'd been sent home from work with a severe breakdown, and I lost my employment as well as a result of it, and I've never recovered from it.
And of course, if you tried to question them in a court of law, what would have happened?
Nothing, because of Section 33, subsection 4 of the Child Support Act 91. It precludes the justices from questioning the calculations.
Well, perhaps we should just have a look at that legislation and what it says. And so there it clearly says that once a liability order has been issued, it cannot be challenged in a court of law. That is to say that the judge or the magistrate can't look at the figures. So you could come into court with a whole load of papers that proved quite clearly that you hadn't been earning what they say you were earning,
Mhm.
and yet the judge or the magistrate is prohibited by law itself, from looking at that.
There you go. Absolutely disgusting situation, isn't it? There's Craig Bourne there describing his ordeal with the child maintenance service. And as you can see from the beret on his head and the medals on his jacket, he's got as much right to proper support as anyone else. And it's a disgrace. One thing that was very telling at the end was the fact that even if you went to court and said, well, I don't own this, I don't earn this, here's all the proof and all the paperwork for this situation, the judge can't look at it, prohibited by law from looking at it. Now, there's a thing in the Magna Carta, I think, which basically gives you an inalienable right to a fair trial. And this takes away your right straight away. It's an absolute disgrace. Now, this was the whole idea of that video, drumming up support for these veterans that have been done by the Child Maintenance Service and have been put under enormous stress. And there's been a lot higher cost to this than, you know, Craig's particular story. There's some real horrors out there. And if you're damaged as a result of your service, you can't cope with it. Here's another example that was brought to my attention, and hopefully we can do something to help this guy. This is Russ, absolutely average. He sent me this. 23 years REME, Royal Electrical Mechanical Engineers, shafted by the Child Maintenance Service, refused access to his kids for months, lives 50 miles from his kids and struggling to buy a car that is reliable and safe. If everyone just donated a little, he'd reach his goal. If you can't afford to donate, then please share this post. Good luck, Big Bear F1. I hope you get there, buddy, and thank you for your positive vibes here on X each and every day while you struggle with your own mind. So Big Bear F1 is someone on X that Russ is in contact with that basically does humour every day, a little bit of comedy. You know, comedy and good taste is absolutely brilliant. And a veteran screwed over by the CMS, load of money taken off of him, and he's in a situation where he lives 50 miles from his kids, can't see them. Now, it's all down to transport, amongst other things. This is a post he put up, and you can see his children there, two beautiful children. If anyone can please help me, either get a more reliable car or help me get mine fixed to be able to see my babies again, I'd be grateful beyond words. I'm not doing this lightly and have exhausted all other options. Thank you so much for your support. So, you know, Big Bear F1, if you are on X, please go and check him out and see if there's anything you can do. At the very least, share his post. I think what I'll do as well is tag Jeff Buys Cars in this video also and send him a message and see if there's anything we can do to try and help rectify the situation for this gentleman, because at the end of the day, that's what YouTube can be used for the good and the betterment of other people, which is exactly what I hope is happening here. Anyway, that gives you an idea, an overview of the situation we face and what these veterans are planning on doing and why. So in summary, if anybody wants to criticize me for speaking out about veteran welfare, then I'm afraid I'm going to continue speaking out about veteran welfare until I'm blue in the face for reasons I've already mentioned. If any veteran wants me to raise an issue like this one, get in contact and I will raise an issue like this one. Look at that video, the Armed Forces CMS special, because the rest of the detail that comes out of there is awful, really awful. And let's hope Big Bear F1 can be helped. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments. And as always, thank you for joining me. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I look forward to talking to you again soon. And please make sure you share this. Toodaloo.